Hi everybody, and welcome to part 8 of my MapTool tutorial series. And in this one, we're going to talk about vision blocking. Now, first, before we get too far down this rabbit hole, vision blocking is a layer that you add to MapTool that allows you to say, when I reveal an area, I only want this area revealed. And if it's outside of the vision blocking, I don't want that part to be revealed. It also applies to the vision of tokens, specifically PC labeled tokens, so that, let's say for example in this room, if we're in room 1 and I've explored room 6 and I close the door, I could put vision blocking here, and with this vision blocking I could move tokens around in room 6 and the PCs can't see that because their vision has been blocked, even though they know that room's there. So why vision blocking? Ultimately, for my purposes, I enjoy it because it allows me to reveal the map one room at a time, and it hides things that happen in that room when the players aren't there. Now, what I do when actually playing and allowing players to control their PC tokens, such as if I'm running my instance of MapTool and I have 4 people playing with me from across the country or the state, what's really cool about this program is if there's vision blocking, which also sets a boundary for our fog of war. This means that the PCs can't take their token, and let's say they're in room 1, they know this door is here. They can't take their token and drag it into room 6 until I remove that vision blocking and they reveal room 6. That's a really cool thing. So that means someone can't take their token from room 1 and randomly drag it to room 11 and reveal what's there. They would have been stopped at this wall here. So that's really cool. Now, let's get into doing some vision blocking. So vision blocking itself is a layer. It's another layer, kind of like token, hidden, object, and background. But it's not over here because there's only one thing you do with it. You add lines. So if we go over here to these toolbars, we have our select, drawing, and other tools. This eye right here is our vision blocking layer. And selecting that opens up all of these tools for us to use. So for now, we're going to go over these tools and what they do. I'm going to zoom into room 1 will be fine for what we're about to do, and I'll show you all of these. So we'll go from left to right. Draw a rectangular vision blocking. So if I select that and I click, hold, and release, and then drag, I get this red square. And what this means is that red square is now what I'm drawing. And it stays anchored to that point, and I can just move it around. Now what will happen is if I make it this and then click here, that means this entire blue part is vision blocked. So if someone comes in through these doors, they will not be able to see around this blue area right here. Now, this can be helpful sometimes. I don't often use this one. What this is best used for, though, is for erasing vision blocking that you didn't mean to put there. So to erase vision blocking, just like we talked about before, if we hold down Shift, it causes your tool to do the opposite of what it's programmed to do. So I have my Shift button held down. I'm going to click and release, and I'm going to move over this. We see that it's white. If I release it, it turns to red. If I push Shift, it turns to white. With Shift held down and clicking, I erase that vision layer. So again, this one is when you want a solid vision blocking item put on your map. You're going to erase that. This next one is actually the one I use the most. Draw a hollow rectangular vision blocking line. So what this does is the same thing as the first one, and it's really hard to see, but it creates this thin red line. So I'll move in. Creates this thin red line. If I select that, now I just have the border. If someone comes in this door, the same thing happens. They can't see around it. But if I put a small hole in it, like right here, holding Shift and erasing that, that means, oops, go back to my vision blocking, that means a PC can walk through these doors and the inside of the square will be revealed, but they can't see on the other side of the square. I use this to outline rooms mainly. Get rid of that. Next we have our oval. Now what's cool about this is you select your center point for where you want your oval shape to be. So let's say I want it right here, and I can expand it to be different long shapes, tall shapes, or to try to be a circular shape. Now this is like the solid rectangular tool, the first one we talked about, and that when it's placed, you can't see in it, you can't see around it. It is a giant obstacle that is just there. And another thing we should talk about with circles is even though the tool showed us a circle, what it really did was it made a series of straight lines. So it's never going to be a perfect circle. That makes this kind of a tricky tool to work with. So I'm going to shift click, erase that again. Now we have the hollow circle. Same thing, and we get these odd lines. Again, not perfectly circular. Erase that. Now we're going to do draw a closed polygon. Now with drawing a closed polygon, what we do is we left click and to starter point. So now we have a line started right here. I'm going to go to the next spot that I want, and I'm going to right click. I've set another anchor point. Right click here, make this crazy shape. I can right click a whole bunch, and then when I'm done, come back to the beginning and left click, and it takes the outline I just made and fills it in with this solid color. This is helpful for free drawing or going around really tricky things. So like circular rooms, I'm more likely to use the Polygon tool than I am to use the circle or oval tool. So I'm going to erase this. Now again, that creates a solid closed polygon. Most likely you're going to use this polyline, which is the same thing. A red line that we left click to start, right click to anchor, and when we're done, it creates this hollow line. So if a PC is out here, they can't see into it, or if a PC is inside of it, they can't see out of it. A quick note about using these poly tools: they're not as stable as using the hollow rectangular one, or the solid rectangular vision blocking. I made an entire map for a campaign once, just a single map, and there was so much vision blocking that I used this with that eventually the vision blocking failed. I don't know if this has been fixed in newer versions, but I used this polyline vision blocking so much that once they got to like the 12th room in this dungeon, they just started seeing through walls, and it kind of failed and defeated the purpose. So I usually go with hollow rectangular vision blocking over anything else. So I'm going to take this and erase it. Now these ones are newer, and I haven't used them as much. So this X just means I'm going to click here and I'm going to drag, and now if someone's in this triangle, they can't see to this triangle or this triangle or this triangle. So that's all that does. We have our rectangular vision blocking, but this is on a different axis, so we can kind of make shapes like that. Again, depends on what you need it for. They added a new map, a new type of map tile. So right now in MapTool we have these top-down squares, but now they have these profile map grids that we might go over later in another video, and that'd be what this is for. They're more on this same axis as this. So they're these shaped squares as opposed to the default that you see on this piezo map. And of course we have just the hollow rectangle that we can use as that. So those are all the different tools. Now I'm going to show you how I use them to actually set up vision blocking in my map. A quick note about the rest of the video. Up until now, I did all the introduction, so that's everything you need to know about how to use vision blocking. So the rest of the video is just me demonstrating it and putting it into the program. So just a heads up about what the rest of the video is. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this entrance because these doors are here, and I kind of want those doors to be vision blocked. Now I'm going to do a few different things here. I'm going to start with my hollow rectangle. I'm going to hit Control G to show where my actual grid is. And I want to show you this. If I want to make a line, again, I'm going to avoid using this polyline. I'm just going to use my rectangular tool, and I'm going to make a vision blocking layer right there, right at the entrance to this cave. Now before I click select, I'm going to hit escape. That cancels the vision blocking that I'm about to do. I'm going to go here. In most cases, I want my vision blocking to align with my grid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Control. And what Control does in vision blocking and drawing and just about everything is it snaps your selection to the nearest cross point of your grid. So if I click here, which is off the grid, it actually goes to that corner. I'll show that again. So let me click here. It went to that corner even though I didn't have my cursor exactly there. And then it snaps to the grid. This is a really helpful tool, and it will save you a ton of time. Now, if I let go of Control, it will stop snapping to the grid, but I can just hold down Control again, and it'll snap back to the grid. And that is where I want my first vision blocking room. And I've made my first layer. Now, room 1 is interesting because it's almost a perfect square. It is almost exactly what I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to outline room 1. I'm going to go down to this corner, hold Control, and I'm going to drag, and I'm going to surround the room. Now let me show you something. I'm going to zoom in. This makes this tricky, and you may not want it to always snap to the grid. So there's a door here. The problem with this door, though, is it's on the other side of this grid square. So when the PCs come in, unless they're being really observant, they may not know a door is there. So you may have to go, all right, guys, there's a door here and a door here. Now I can do something different and take this, hold Shift, and erase it. And I can make my vision blocking a little bigger than the room. And that would actually be really good for this situation. And I can make it like that. So now I've got half of each door covered, and they can see that half of the door. That doesn't do too much to affect it. And then what I'll do is I'll come up here. I've got room 1 vision blocked and the entrance vision blocked, but this mini hallway, I do not have vision blocked. So I'm going to select this again. I'm going to make sure I overlap on this line, and I'm going to select this area. So left click to start, left click to finish. And the last thing I need to do with this room is I have this little hallway entrance area that I now have vision blocked. Well, I don't want that vision blocked. There's no door, there's no wall there. So I'm going to click the draw rectangular tool. I'm going to get pretty close in here. Click, hold Shift, and I'm going to erase as much of this extra blue line as I can. You'll see like a little bit right there. Now that's not going to make a big difference in game, but I got rid of most of what I need. So now the PCs can come in through this door, walk into room 1, and that is all that they will see. When playing, you can also adjust the vision blocking. So let's say you do this. You have the PCs and you put all their tokens here at the entrance, and you tell them the flavor text of the door and everything like that. And then one of them says, all right, well, I go and check the door. Well, the door is closed, and the PC goes, all right, I'm going to open it. Now, what's cool about this is to open the door, I just select, again, this solid rectangular tool. I click, hold Shift, and I erase that. And now the PCs can reveal the room beyond because the door is open and the vision blocking is removed. I'm going to add that back in, though, because I want that for right now. And put that back. And we'll cover more about how to reveal the map and everything with PCs later. For now, though, I'm going to go ahead and just put in some more layers. So I'm going to do this in order. Here's an interesting room. Let's talk about room 2. The first time I did room 2, I vision blocked everything. So this gray square right here, PCs can't see through. And there's a lot of little gray squares, a lot of nooks and crannies. Now, when I run this next time, I really don't care that this vision blocking is there. There's no enemies in this room. There's these trap doors which don't matter a ton, but really they get the idea of this is kind of a maze-like area. They don't really need to know much more than that. So I'm not going to take the time to individually vision block everything that in real life would be vision blocked. I'm going to come down here, make sure that I get partway through this door right here, and I'm going to select the entire room like that. So now when they come in, they'll just reveal the entire room all in one go instead of having to go around a corner, reveal what's down the hall, go around another corner, reveal what's down the hall. They can just say, oh yeah, my token's going to come this way, and we can deal with traps from there. The next thing I need, I've got this little hallway. If they walk out here, it's going to reveal the vision here. So I'm just going to select there, draw a line there, draw a line there, and get rid of this extra unneeded line where there is no wall. And I'm finicky, so I'm going to get rid of this and clean it up, even though no one will probably ever notice it. And I am done with room 2. After room 2, I come down here and I've got this hallway leading to 3, 4, and 5. I would vision block this, so this will take a little more time. So I'm going to come in here. Grid doesn't line up perfectly, but it's not as big of a deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draw it one line at a time, still using my rectangular tool. And I'm going to control, snap to grid. I want it there, snap to that corner, to there, snap to this corner. Notice that I snapped to this corner to find my starting point, but the next corner is up here. I don't want it there. I want this door there. So that's why that's happening. Snap to that corner. And I got a nice big long hallway here. Don't need to worry about the door this time because they're not going to come in through 3. They're going to go to room 3. Get this hallway here. And again, I'm just holding down my control button to get this. Now here we've got, actually this door doesn't matter either because they're not going to come from 4, they're going to go to 4 this way. That, and one more. And there we go. I have that hallway vision blocked. Go through my rooms. This one's nice and simple. I'm not going to snap to grid because again the grid's not lining up with the walls completely perfectly. So I'm just going to put that in, and I'm done with room 3. Sometimes it's simple, sometimes it's a little less so. Get rid of that extra line there. 4 is going to be a bit different. I want to accentuate the shape of the room, so I'm going to put a wall there, and put that there, there, and there. Now I'm going to actually do the shape of this side. So control, click, and go to the next corner. The only thing I need to do is I need to remove this wall where there is, or this vision blocking where there's no wall. Click and select that, and room 4 is done. Room 5. Now, while I'm finishing this up in room 5, you're going to see some pillars. And if you want to, you can put vision blocking on pillars. I mean, if you're running a really tactical game, this will even show you vision cones. So if someone's standing here and you have this vision block pillar, it'll show that they can't see what's on the other side of this pillar if you put vision blocking there. Now, I'm not playing that kind of game anymore, but you might be, and you might appreciate having that level of vision blocking in there. And I have this wing done. Jump over here, look at room 6. Again, it's another one of those rooms that I could vision block this, but it doesn't really matter to me, so I'm just going to do some quick vision blocking here. Oops, wrong tool. Hollow. Going to vision block all of that so that they can see the doors. And vision block this hallway. Right now I'm not snapping to the grid as much. It just depends on the situation. There is no door there. Remove that vision blocking. And that's it. Now, I could add in this rectangle here and make this different, but for right now, for sake of time, I'm not going to do that. Let's go to area 7. Put in the correct tool. Put in a wall there. Put in a wall there. And here my vision blocking isn't lining up, so I'm just going to, if I zoom in, I'm just going to make those line up. It's not going to be pretty, but again, most likely your players are not going to notice. Draw a long wall here, which didn't work. Try it from this side. And there we go, got that wall. Snap to grid there. And 7 in the long hallway are done. Over here in 8, again, the first time I did this, I vision blocked everything, and the players were more frustrated than anything. So I'm not going to do that again. I am going to select over here and do this much. And I just vision blocked out part 8. Do number 9 here. Noticing that my grid isn't lining up incredibly well, but that's okay. I'm not going to be too worried about that for right now. I'm actually going to do this, just save me some time. Then I'll just remove the excess vision blocking later. That's what I'll do to save time. I'll just go through and I'll put in a bunch of extra lines because I can just go back and go, don't want you, don't want you, and that's it for this room. And room 10, it's up to you. You can make this hallway, or you could just vision block this entire thing, and then they just reveal it and they know this is empty space we're not allowed to go into. And room 11. So this is where that circular tool would be really cool if it worked a little better. So I'm going to try to find the middle. I'm going to expand out. And in order for this tool to work really well, you actually need to make it bigger than the room that you're using. And even then, if you look, it kind of cuts through. But that'll be okay. It's not too big of a deal. It did ballpark what I want it to. Need to clear up some vision blocking here. And I'm not going to be happy with this wedge shape thing because players are curious. So I'm just going to extend this out here and I'll erase what's in the middle. And up there looks fine. Another instance over here, but this one's not as bad. I'll just remove that. And I think I'm going to add a little extra down here so that they can see the door, because I know that this room is trapped, and them seeing the doors is important for what they will do when the trap gets sprung. And there I have my circular room 11. Come down here. Oops. I like this thin hallway. It's not as finicky, so I'm just going to do that. And again, I can vision block these little alcoves out, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a quicker map and get these walls going. And then I'll just go back through and I'll remove all of these extra lines right now, and I'll be back in a moment. All right, so I cleaned up my vision blocking and I'm now complete with that. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do. I'll go ahead and come over here and do the lower level on my own. You don't need to be here for that. And that is how I put in vision blocking. Just a reminder, if you want your vision blocking to snap to the grid, hold down Control. And if you want to use it as an eraser, you just need to hold down Shift. So that's it for right now. That is part 8, vision blocking, of my MapTool tutorial series. And I look forward to seeing you back here in part 9. Have a good day.